All of a sudden there's a beeping. Beep, 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 beep.
Uh-oh. I didn't do it.
Which station is it on?
It's coming from contact.
Oh.
And you can see that it's a signal coming in. You hear a clunk, 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 clunk on metal decking. And Jex comes in and wants to know if anybody touched anything. And he's mostly kidding. He looks at contact, sits down at it, and says it's a distress signal. And we are required by the company to investigate this sort of thing. So he gets on the comm and tries to raise the person who is sending the distress signal, and he gets no response whatsoever.
Well, they don't have any weapons or shields or nothing.
He says that it's actually coming from close by. It's from, and he goes, it's from Enton. So we're going to have to go. So he slides over to Nav Helm and changes the heading and starts heading for the Enton, for the planet Enton, and says that it's going to be 2 or 3 hours, and that we need to keep trying to raise whoever is sending out the distress signal on the radio. And so he gives you your assignments. I want you to look at your sheets, as you already have been. Those are the abilities that you got when you got here. Call them out, starting with Baronix.
Weapons +2, combat +2, science, plants +1, science minerals +1, and science energy +1.
So his main specialty is weapons and combat, and his secondary specialty is the sciences. Hero.
Electronics +2, computers +2, engineering +2, and medic +1.
So she's our techie genius. She's our techie genius and also has some medic training. Unbelievable, I keep forgetting your name. Bosk.
Astrogation +2, pilot +2, weapons +1, combat +1.
Okay.
Engineering +2, mechanics +2, astrogation +1, pilot +1.
Okay. So, Bardak, he assigns to ship systems.
Alright.
So, ship systems,
Should I write it over here?
down here, put ship systems 0. Bosk, you are going to be at Nav Helm, navigation and helm. You get to fly the ship, plot all the courses. So put Nav Helm 0. Hero, he assigns you to sensors. So I need you to give yourself a sensors 0. Baronix, you are going to be at contact, so go ahead and put contact 0. So what this means is over the next 3 hours while you guys are en route to investigate the distress signal is that he's showing you around your stations. You know how to do everything yet? No, but he's able to show you, here's how to make the ship go faster, here's how to make the ship go slower, here's how to point the sensors in a certain direction and do a long-range scan. Ship systems, obviously that's everything inside of the ship. He's able to, he shows you, here's how you switch your view. Here's what this readout means, all that sort of thing. Contact, you are responsible for everything outside of the ship, kind of like Worf is, how he can see that there's 5 energy signatures heading toward you or whatever, Plus you do all the communications outside of the ship, okay? So everybody now has their assignments. And we will say that it took him about those 3 hours. Now, as you guys are getting closer to the planet Enton, we are going to go ahead and do a little bit of exposition here. He explains to you that Enton is Nelius's great experiment in terraforming. It is their boasting rights to the rest of the galaxy. And everybody's looking at me blankly, so maybe I'd better start with Nelius. It's the home system of the Doulos Corporation. Their headquarters is split between a planet-side base and a massive spaceport. The main planet, Neleus, is Earth-like. It's a high-technology world with a single world government with high ambitions in terraforming, trade, services, and monopolizing. They dream of an era that has Neleus as the capital of the galaxy, or at least this arm of it, and their biggest company, the Doulos Corporation, as a household name in every system. But their isolation from the rest of the inhabited galaxy and extreme distance from any major trade routes makes the likelihood of their dreams becoming reality almost zero. The most distant planet in the system, Enton. This is like it's like Pluto. It's like the one on the very outside. It was the Nelians' first planetary experiment in terraforming. It was made centuries ago by the Nelians as proof that their technology could terraform any world, no matter how uninhabitable. And it worked. It worked beautifully. However, and they put people there. They set up agriculture. They planted crops. They took them animals for breeding and that sort of thing. But then they found out that they didn't think this through very well. Since everything on Enton came from Neleus, there was no trade between them, obviously. I mean, it doesn't matter how many cows are on Enton. On Neleus, there's a lot more. It doesn't matter how much grain they grow on Enton, because Neleus grows the exact same grain and 20 times as much of it. So Enton really had no trade with Neleus. And then even as they tried to trade with other systems, Neleus could outbid them and outsupply them every single time. So why would anybody want to trade with Enton? So over the last couple of centuries, they've kind of become the unwanted child. They've kind of become culture has been stagnant there for over 100 years. It's still very country, It's still very, they have no skyscrapers. They have no plants that are making spaceships. It's basically a bunch of farmers and ranchers, and they make enough to stay alive. That's not a problem. It's just they're never going to amount to much benefit. Well, I'm way off my script here, so I hope there wasn't anything that mattered here. And really, I should have brought my glasses. The Nelians were so pleased with their job on terraforming Enton that they then chose the largest moon of Enton and decided to terraform that. And that was when they found out they'd maybe better go back to the drawing board, because that one didn't work as well. It does have an atmosphere, and it's got dirt, and it's got plants, but nobody lives there. Nobody would want to live there. It's got some major... the terraforming didn't take, basically.
So is the distress signal coming from something in orbit of Enton or the surface?
Well, that's the thing, is that as you get closer up, he notices that the distress signal is actually coming from the largest moon of Enton, the one that they tried to terraform. And how about that? I forgot to write a name for the largest moon of Enton. Who wants to tell us what the largest moon of Enton is called?
Nibiru.
Traveler.
What?
Tababarus.
Tababarus. We got Nibiru, we got Tababarus. You guys got any ideas?
Failure.
Huh?
Failure.
Failure? That's not a bad name. All right. Everybody in favor of Nibiru, raise your hand. Everybody in favor of Tababarus, raise your hand. Okay. Everybody in favor of failure, raise your hand. All right. Tababarus has it. So he says that the distress signal is coming from the moon of Tababarus. But he still can't raise anybody on the comms. He leans over there on the button and says, distress signal, this is Doulos Corporation Transport DFT7118. Please respond. And he's getting nothing. I won't bother using the Hangout for this, but over at your station, you suddenly get an energy spike. You see an energy spike off in the distance. So,
Is there any way we can contact Enton to see if they have gotten any distress calls from Barbarous or whatever.
That is not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. About all you could do.
Because it's uninhabited, right? I mean, so far as anybody knows.
The moon is uninhabited, yes. Let's see. My concern here is that Enton doesn't even have so much as a ground-side starport.
Oh, okay. That's true, because they're mostly agricultural.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
However, with this energy spike that he's showing, and it's a long distance out, he can only see that there is an energy spike a long distance out, which means next you guys should...
Well, what kind of energy spike is it? Like,
if only there were a way to find out.
sensors?
Ah, okay. So I would think sensors would do a long-range scan to get some more information. And there at the sensor station is Hero, so give me a 2d6.
9.
Okay. It's about 20,000 kilometers away on bearing 216 Mark 36. It's an explosion. It's a ship. And these scans take a moment to come in. So as you're watching, you see that it's got the signature of an exploding ship. And you can see that leading up to the explosion are 2 maneuvering drive trails. And he just gets a very serious look on his face. And he says it's probably pirates. The ship tried to run, but you can't outrun a pirate ship. They're the fastest ships out there. They make it their business to be the fastest. So the pirates aren't going to let them get away. It's a matter of pride. So they probably just blew them out of the sky. Yeah, pirate ships have weapons. So it's not often that they come out this way, but they obviously did, and obviously got a hold of somebody. It's a dangerous sky out there.
Are they still around, the pirates?
Well, it's, as I said, like 200,000 kilometers away.
Oh.
You can see them on their long-range scan.
Will their sensors pick up that we scanned them?
If they were looking, they'd be able to see us. The only reason we even looked that direction was because an energy spike showed up on his board. So as long as we don't explode, they would have no reason to look our direction.
So on long-range scans, we do see that there's 2 ships out there, 2 pirate ships.
No, we see that there's an explosion,
Oh.
and we see the ion trail of maneuver drives.
Oh, okay.
We can't actually see the other ship. All we can see is the energy signatures. We can't actually see the metallic objects when they're that far away. But we can see the ion trails that there were 2 ships and there's an explosion. Jax has been in these skies a long time. He's seen a lot of things, so he could be wrong. But this is what he makes of it. For all you know, he's a bit of a pessimist. Who knows?
So is that where the distress call was coming from? Was the
No.
ship? No?
Nope. So you guys are making an approach onto the moon of Tababarus.
When we land, will we need to have like weapons? Is there anything dangerous there?
Who knows? Probably better safe than sorry, don't you think? So I think our 2 weapons security officers would probably insist on some security. But right now we're first making our approach. So,
And the moon does have atmosphere, so we don't have to put on suits.
Jax explains that you're going to have to put on Atmo masks. But as far as any radiation or anything like that, we'll be fine exposed for 3 or 4 hours. It should be fine. Gravity is a little light. You're going to find you have a spring in your step. So we're on approach to Tababarus. How about if Contact gives us a roll for locating the source of the distress signal at 2d6 and use, oh, nope, Just give me a 2d6.
10.
10. All right, you guys have a lock on where the signal is coming from. Our pilot is going to need to fly us in, and I would think we'd want to, Jex would tell you to set down within 100 yards of it or so. So I need you to give me a 2d6 with your piloting skill of +2.